Hello, my name is Darshaun McAway. I'm an author and a poet, and today I want to recite to you a poem that's titled, It's Not About Me. And to give you a little preference of what this poem is about, I was trying to figure out what did I want my last words to be. If someone was to pick up where I left off, what kind of message would I leave behind? And at the time, my daughter, she was probably about 2 years old. So I kind of left this letter for her, but I left it for my entire family and close friends. And it reads such as this. I've stayed silent for too long. It's time to vent my heart out in this poem. I can think about a million things that I can say wrong, but I can't this time because all the problems in the world are well known. I get it. I'm another black man reading a poem with deep issues that started way before I was born. I asked my father, why was I born? And he said so he could have a son. So I got married and had a daughter. And one day she'll ask me, why was she born? And I'll say, because me and your mother wanted to make sure that our love lived on. Through you and by you, I will forever live on. It's tough, baby girl, but mama and daddy will teach you to be strong. But sometimes in life, you must keep on carrying on. Not like slavery, where we were forced to carry on our backs of whips and rocks for others to stand on. You can't talk to anyone about this because they'll say, why can't blacks just move on? Because to be honest with you, we never got our just due. We look around and see you doing you. Well, this is primetime poetry justice. It's only to be understood by a select few. Now, I'm going to end it off right there because when I was thinking about that a few years ago, I came from a place of, the world was so chaotic, and I was just trying to figure out how do I create some type of balance? And the only type of balance that I could create was the balance within my own family household. So from there, I say, well, I think it's best that we start writing some children's books and giving Anaya some inspiration. Anaya is our daughter. My wife is Stephanie. And I say, well, I think it's best for us to pick up where I left off. I started with poetry, so I wanted to end it with poetry. So our children's books are very fun adventure books that have a little poetry rhythm to it. Our first book that we came out with was Anaya's Trip to the Rainbow. The second book that we came out with was Anaya's Trip to Space. And the third book is Anaya's Road Trip, and the fourth book is Anaya's Haunted Halloween. So throughout these books, you'll start to notice a little poetry in there. And I did that because I wanted Anaya to grow up with some type of fun. I believe poetry is fun. It's very personal. It lets everyone know who you are. I think if you can learn how to write poetry, you'll have a lot of therapy. You'll get a chance to really express yourself the way you see fit. And for me, that was important about writing. I wanted to express myself the way I see fit and not be judged by it. But in the ways of the world, that's kind of how things are. So in saying that, we had developed this children's publishing company to where kids can tell their own personal stories, right? Whatever it may be, in illustrations, just talking about something fun, something silly. So we created a company called babyauthors.com, and we got those children's books inside of Walmart, and we became like this huge success. So I just wanted to be able to reach out to everyone and say, hey, don't be discouraged. Keep on doing what you can do. Keep your mind to the ground and focus on what makes you happy. When I wrote a lot of these books, I had to revert back to my own personal childhood, right? And I started realizing that once you're a parent, yeah, you are responsible, but for the most part, you have to remember how to be a kid again because your child is going to want to play with you. So I want to say take life serious, but when it comes to your kids, don't take life too serious because they can care less about the type of responsibilities that you have. They just want to spend time. So when we wrote these books, we were trying to make sure that parents spent time with their children instead of worrying about the responsibilities of the world. Your kids are only going to be kids for a short while, but as you can see, we're going to be adults for a lifetime. So feel free to have fun. Feel free to express yourself with your kids the best way you know how. Give them a chance to get to know you. Sit down one day and write down what your legacy is going to be. Write down what's your last final words. What would you like for people to know about you? And are you living by that accordingly? So you'll find that when you get a chance to write poetry, when you get a chance to express yourself, a lot of different doors started to open up. When I first wrote my first poetry book, I was 23 years old. It was a book called Do You Mind If? Over 170,000 sold. And I was 23 when I wrote this book. This is a romance, like a romance poetry book. And in there, I got a chance to express myself in my first book, and it became a total success. You can find this book over in every retail store possible, right? It's been out since 2007. And with the success of this book, I was able to then recreate what I wanted to do with Anaya when it came time to, okay, what do we do for her? She's a newborn. How do I pick up where I left off? So I started back with poetry. So some of the children's books, again, they have poetry in them. So I started a publishing company for Anaya so she could, possibly step in my footprints or maybe not, and just do her own thing. And from there, a lot of different things happened for me. I got a chance to do some acting. I'm an accredited actor on IMDb. I was in True Detective 3. I was also in a short film called Chase the Lion. I was also in another short film titled I'll Never Bother a Chicken Again. So by expressing myself through poetry, by being who I am and having fun, I was able to open up a lot of different doors. So once again, my name is Darshaun McAway. I want to thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure getting to know you guys and for you to get to know me. Hopefully I can get a chance to see you guys again. See ya.